Hello, welcome to the Turret of Pleasure. Once again, here in the Enchanted Kingdom of Hermione, I'm Zip Gun, the Lord Chamberlain of the Enchanted Kingdom. And those of you who watch this channel regularly will remember that last time we were talking, the Empress was en route with goodies that looked exotic. So I figured I'd show you what she brought home, and then I'll show you what I got in a subsequent swing up to Sydney and back. I love doing these because it means I get to go for a nice long drive, listen to some good music in my car, drive on some really cool twisty roads, and I get to hit about 9 or 10 thrift stores, some of which are always pretty good, it seems. I don't know, it's weird. Anyways, get right to it. Now, I remember we have a thing, the Empress and I. She'll phone me from the thrift store and say, look, there's a CD here. It just reeks of something you want. Oh yeah, well, what is it? Well, it's sort of weird. It's called Flipper's Guitar, and it says singles. And I go, oh yeah, Flipper's Guitar. Yeah, all songs written and produced by this. What is it? Something or other. And I go, I don't know what the hell that is. She goes, well, it's got Japanese writing all over it. I go, oh yeah. Yeah, Double Knockout Corporation. $2. I went, yeah, what the hell? Buy it. And there you have it. Flipper's Guitar singles. I had no idea who they were. Not a friggin' clue. And then she goes, and there's another one here. And she rattles off their name, and I'm like, are you okay? And she's like, no, that's the name of the band. And I went, really? And they're called The Michelle Gun Elephant. And their album, Chicken Zombies. Now, as you might have guessed, with the tribute to, what is that, Blue Cheer, that cover. And there's a couple of other things that I thought were pretty cool. This is, again, Japanese. These guys are garage rock. Look at all the junk that came with this. I love this, though. The odds and sods cover, except, of course, with fuck spelled out. Like a lot of this Japanese, I call it mimic rock, really. It's like 60s grunge rock, garage rock. It's excellently done, excellently produced and recorded, just absolute top drawer production and everything, and it's a lot of fun. It's ultimately a copy of something that has come before. Maybe you could call it a heartfelt tribute. I enjoy the hell out of it. It's really fun. Another one that she found in this. Now, I know these guys, and I realize this is how it came. $2 in the thrift store. There's a whole lot more to this package than this. And I might even have had this CD at one point. But I kind of went off these guys. Now this, I played it again and I like this. But it might well be the last one of theirs that I'm really keen on. I really do like their early stuff a lot. And as it turns out, Flipper's Guitar is also sort of part of this, I forget the name for it, there's a Japanese word, something or other pop. And there was a whole school of this pop. And Flipper's Guitar were a big band in this movement, and Pizzicato 5 probably became the most famous in North America. And then there was this one. So then she goes, okay, well, there's this guy. What's it called? New Frequency. I go, okay. I go, what? And usually over the phone, it's okay, what label's it on? She goes, I don't know. Can't see. Because it doesn't really say anything. She goes, well, let me see. She goes to where the label would be. She goes, New Frequency, Yamamoto Toshichi. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. Okay, well, I go, it's the label. And she looks where the label would be. And there's a weird symbol that looks not English. And it says, a project of Hips Road. And I go, buy it. Because that means it has something to do with Mr. John Zorn, or at least 9 times out of 10 it does. I'm not sure what Hips Road is exactly, but I do know that just about everything he's done on either his label, and the label of course is Zadok, Or the other label he sort of has some kind of thing with called Avant. Frighteningly expensive CDs those were. And anything on these labels is worth buying for $2. So I said, buy it. So she brings it home. And of course, not only does it turn out that I know who this is, I've met this guy. Because he is Yamato. Yamamo, I think it is. Is it Yamato? What's his proper name? He is Yamamoto, I think it is. He's the guitar player for the Boredoms. He's also the kind of main guy from Omoide Hatoba, who are kind of a Boredom spin-off band, but they played, believe it or not, they played here in Victoria years ago in a place called the Side Door, which is now the Capitol Ballroom, this big corporate rock bar. And Yamamoto. What does it say Yamamo on the back? Yamamoto Shiki. Oh, you got me. At any rate, Yamamoto Shaky. Maybe it's a typo. This is one of his rare solo records, and it's bloody good. It's a little bit minimalist. It's just him and sometimes a drummer named China, I believe. And absolutely hit this one out of the park. I love this record. I didn't know it existed. I have bought many Omoide Hatoba records, and I've bought many Boredoms records, so I'm a fan already. And there you go. It was just, everything works. And then the other one she found, I don't know what to make of this, Garnett Sweatshirt, which is a weird band kind of put together by Chris Houston. Brian Goebel's in it. And I think John Card plays in it. And would you believe Randy Bachman plays in it? And it's mostly sort of terrible. I mean, I'm glad I didn't pay a lot of money for it. It's a lot of fun. There's a great couplet in here that I'll keep it for. The Curse of the Canadian Rock Star. Hello, does anyone recognize me? I used to be Big Cheese in the 1970s. Canadian music industry. I used to be a big cheese in the 1970s Canadian music industry. Now I just hold court from behind the counter renting PAs from Long and McQuaid. The kiss of death is at hand. You've just been voted the most promising band. You've got the curse of being a Canadian rock star. If you want to be a big success, pack up your bags and head to the U.S. Truer words were never spoken, however tongue-in-cheek. Anyways, Brian Goebel, the late, great Brian Goebel, writes a couple of songs on this all by himself. Daryl Neudorf recorded it. Remember him, the guy that got fucked over by Sarah McLachlan? $2. I bought it. What the hell? Okay, so that was the stuff that the Empress found. This is from my recent junket up and down the peninsula. I found some neat stuff. This, I didn't even know what the hell this was at first. I gotta get better at angling this away so you don't reflect the light. I forgot about that. This is Musique et Chant Inuit. Eskimo Point, Rankin Inlet. So this is Inuit chants and music. Done by Now, the funny thing is, it was really hard to figure out who is responsible, unless you know that UMMUS is the University of Montreal Music School, which it took me a while to kind of figure that out. I didn't know they made CDs. That's great. 1990, what year is this? Anyway, this is really way more interesting than I thought it would be. 1990, wow. Because it's from Quebec, it's French first, English second, so I'm completely stuck trying to figure stuff out. But it didn't, once I figured out where everything was, and that's just me, there's some cool stuff in here. There are recordings in here from 1914. What? There's the song of Now Yark. by a Margaret. I'm pronouncing these terribly, I know. Ujapurk. This song was sung by the young Margaret Ujapurk and recorded by Christian Layden at Churchill, Manitoba in 1914. Now you get 1977. She records it again, singing the same song. She remembers the song but doesn't recall its meaning, which is a kind of sad but telling thing about modern First Nations languages across this country, really. This was, I listened to almost the whole thing all the way through. It begs to be monkeyed with in the lab. I know people think that's sacrilege, but I'm coming back to that one. Then I found one that made me break a really long-standing rule of mine. Now, if the CD is not complete, I won't buy it. Unless it's something extraordinarily unusual and good. So, in this case, no J card. That's really annoying. That bugs the hell out of me. It has no spine as a result. But it is the Tannehill Weavers CD about their tribute to horses, because you gotta have a theme of some description. I'm not going to belabor it. It's a solid Tannehill Weavers record. It has not got any transcendent moments on it that I can detect. I'm keeping it and put it in with all my other Tannehill Weavers records. I found Mavis Staples living on a high note, and this, I don't know. She's got a great voice. She just played here a while back in Victoria. Produced by M. Ward, who I don't know a lot about, on Auntie, which is kind of interesting that the Bad Religion people are bringing you Mavis Staple. I listened to most of this record and it did not exactly move me. I don't know what it was. The songs were pretty good. Nico Case has a song on this. M. Ward does a song. There's a pretty good variety of people on it. They were kind of trying to, I don't know. They were trying to appeal to the M. Ward crowd, I would imagine. She does really well on it. It isn't really for me. And, I don't know. I might keep it, I might not. This is my second copy of this record. Now, this has been A+ by everybody. And I remember I heard a lot of this record when I worked at the nightclub. This was cheap. It's just scratched up enough that nobody would buy it. And I thought, I'm going to give this record another chance. And I got a few songs in and was actually enjoying it, even though I did realize that I'd heard it to death at work. But I'll keep it. It's one of those records I should have if it's cheap enough, and I think it was $25. Here's one, Dave Douglas Quintet. Dave Douglas is a really excellent trumpet player from New York City, and he's played with Zorn, Nosada, so he can play outside, but he also plays pretty inside too. This is a quartet with nobody I know on it, nobody familiar. Seems to be on either his own label or a very small label. Probably really hard to find. I got 4 songs in and I really liked it. It was maybe a little safe in places, but I get it. He's not completely weird or avant-garde. He's no Leo Smith. Again, I got to give this guy another chance. I've heard this is interesting. If it's not, I know I can take it to the Rock Emporium and trade it in for something that I like. I am not a huge Waits fan, but I know he's talented. I know he's original. And this was actually $2. This is just barely worth buying, but it is it's the actual album, Blue Hawaii album, with everything. Most of it is kind of crap, but it's a good. I don't have any of his movie soundtracks examined the way this one has been examined. This is probably his best movie soundtrack. So I bought it, and I'm going to listen to the whole thing. I haven't listened to it yet. It's got Can't Help Falling in Love with You, which is a big hit. It actually sold really well in the day. Okay, then, the Empress, the thrift store that the Empress found the Japanese stuff in, was also on my hit list. So I went there, and wouldn't you know it, and this was sort of delightful, there was a pretty good chunk of Johnny Cash. Now, I've got almost all the Johnny Cash I need, but I'll buy certain things by him, again, if they're cheap. This was, now I don't know anything about this, but it comes with a matching DVD. 1987, Austin City Limits. I think he was signed to Mercury at the time. And this is basically him doing a greatest hits show, essentially. Although, what's he doing here? I'll go somewhere and sing my songs again. That's not exactly a greatest hit. Ballad of Barbara. That's Sam Stone on this. It's got June. It's got the band. It's really solid, apparently. I haven't heard it yet. But by all accounts, it's a very good document of when he was kind of spinning his wheels on record, but he was still putting it out on stage. I also found this. Now, this I bought with trepidation. First of all, I think it's about 26 minutes long. How long is this? 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 20, 32 minutes. Okay. So it's an LP, according to Crisco. He did all these Americana records in the 60s, most of which are pretty hokey. But this one was pretty good because he felt the plight of the American Indian, partly because he was part American Indian and he could identify. Again, I haven't heard this in 100 million years, but I remember it being pretty good and not being, it's a little bit embarrassing at times, but it's, again, for cheap thrift store money, it was worth buying. Add to my collection. And that, as was this. Now, this was, I think, $2.99. These go for $25 or so when you can find them. They're getting kind of long in the tooth. I think, what year are these? 2007. Now, these were a not bad idea, but they were kind of, I don't know, they didn't go quite far enough with the nerds. Like, if you're going to appeal to the record nerds, do these things like they've been doing with, like, the Charles Ives Columbia record album collection, make it really good. Now, what they've done here is they take, now they've done this with a whole lot of different artists. I have a Lou Reed one, I have a Soft Machine one, I have a Cheap Trick one. They're great value. They usually have extra tracks on them, and the bonuses, they come in the original sleeves. In like mini sleeves. There's no spines. Now, this is great. And they also give you sort of period correct labels, if you will, which is another little sop to us nerds. There's no information. There's no songwriting information. Now, of course, all of this stuff will be included, it says here. 2008? That's a lot like 17 years ago. It says here, for full album credits, go to www.musicmadesimple.info. Well, of course, I went there, and there was nothing. Nothing there. 2000, and it's really hard to see. Boy. Anyways, this features 2008, yeah. This features 5 of his very first albums. In fact, I think it might be the first 3. And there's a bit of a gap between Orange Blossom Special. But the Fabulous Johnny Cash, which is great. Extra tracks. There's a lot of extra tracks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. Hymns by Johnny Cash, which is, if I'm going to listen to somebody sing hymns, it's going to be either John or Elvis. They both meant it, so okay. Songs of Our Soil, which was kind of Americana #1. Hide This Train, kind of an Americana as well. And then the Orange Blossom Special, which has a bunch of Bob Dylan songs on it that he did before Bob did them. $2.99. I was really happy. Now, the con is, if you pick these up the wrong way, these all fall out, and inevitably, the CDs come out of the sleeves. You got a giant mess to clean up. I find that irritating. I wish they were in a clamshell or something, but whatever. They're great things. They're probably getting long in the tooth. I don't think they make them anymore, maybe. There was a million different ones. And, yeah, I was really happy to get it with John. Now, I wish I could find a John Cash one with the 70s records in it. Then I'd be cooking. And then the rest of the stuff I bought, it's all classical. You won't care much. But here's Anton Reicha, a composer you don't see much of. And on CPO/EMI, I don't really get that. Anyway, this is kind of stuff I like. It's a little bit off the beaten track. We have a Richard Good Beethoven CD, which I found out in Brentwood. Good does Beethoven very well. I'll buy these whenever I find them. Then we have a kind of an oddball one, which is Schumann for piano and oboe. And, sure, Clara Schumann is on this as well. Robert Schumann and Clara Schumann. Harmonia Mundi, Le Nouveau Musicien. I'll buy these 100 times out of 100. I'm going to bet that's really good. And then there's Uncle Camus. Uncle Camus, I remember, made a few records for Deutsche Grammophon in the 70s. He did Sibelius symphonies. Anyways, here he is doing the Baba Yar Symphony by Shostakovich with City of Birmingham Choir. Which orchestra? City of Birmingham Symphony Orchestra. On Shandos. This is pretty old, but I'll bet this is great. Is it substantially better than the other one that I know, which I have on Melodia? It probably sounds better. A huge, sprawling work. It's sad. It's brutal, in fact. It's so Russian. But a really great piece. And Uncle Camus, I'm glad I got that. So that one I bought. And then finally, and this, everybody should have some of these. I'll buy the Bach cello suites by almost anybody good. But this is not just anybody good. This is Rostropovich. This is up there with Casals. Who have I got doing this now? I've got Casals. I don't see them here. I know I've got Yo-Yo Ma somewhere. Yo-Yo is pretty good. This music is, for a cellist, this is the, whatever they call it, tabula rasa. This was, I think, $2. And it's a kind of it's really old school. It's like two separate jewel boxes. It's like they thought about maybe we can sell them separately too. But in a fun, shoddy kind of slipcase. Great notes. Bach cello suites. Everybody likes them. Everybody I play them to loves them. So anyway, there you have it. That's this week's haul. And thanks for watching. We'll get back at you when we got more weird things to talk about. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the like. And because I'm so sporadic, I don't make videos unless I got something to talk about. So we'll try and conjure up some topics for conversation that might prove stimulating to those of you who have subscribed. And if you have comments or questions or anything, always answer them, because I'll always answer them. So anyway, thanks for watching, and take care of each other. We'll see you later.